Good evening. On behalf of myself and my classmates, I would like to welcome you all to our pinning ceremony. Becoming a nurse has been a dream of ours for many years, and it's hard to believe that this day has actually come. As you all know, we have worked very hard to be here today, and without the help from some of you, we wouldn't be able to be here. So thank you for your support in sharing this special day with us. And to my classmates, welcome to the rest of your life as a nurse. Thank you.
Hi, I'm Shelley Richter. They've asked me to speak today, and I will be honest, I can do a 4-hour lecture with no problem, but to stand up here and speak is one of the most terrifying things for me. So I know exactly what the students feel when they say they have test anxiety. So I've been in VTAC all day. So at 4 o'clock, I finally realized I really need to get this thing written. We have, only 3 hours till start time here. And at that point, nothing was coming to me still. So I thought, that's fine, I'll go on to something else I have to do. And of course, that's new student orientation. So then I'm thinking, oh great, what am I gonna say to them? They never listen to me anyway. So I got thinking, well gosh, they listen to students. So how can I make this comfortable for me and be up here? And finally it hit me. I could come up with, I was pretty sure I knew, what these graduates would say to new students coming into the nursing program now. So I thought, that's it. We won't call this a speech because that's giving me more anxiety than anything. We'll call this a list, and I'll come up with a list of advice that I think these graduates would want to say to the new students in orientation next week. And then I'll use tonight to confirm with these guys if I'm on the right track. So that's what I have prepared today, is sort of a list of advice for our new grads. Or I'm sorry, for our new students. So these grads would probably say something like, don't sell yourself short by purchasing the common 1.5-inch or even 3-inch binders for each nursing course. A 6-inch, yes, they really do make those, work much better. And the student, there is a student who comes in mind that always has these. She would remind you that this isn't just for each course, it was for each test that you. This leads right into number 2, rolling backpack. I'll repeat, rolling backpack, okay? Number 3, if you come from a non-nursing background, maybe something like mixing paint, saying, I'm scared, man, to the instructor as you're getting ready to do some patient care, probably isn't going to lead to success on the course objectives. You actually do have to go in the room and touch the patient to complete your assessment. Going on, bringing a breakfast of yogurt and berries to lecture just might come in handy if your instructor decides to illustrate what chest tube drainage with blood clots really looks like. No, I'm not sure what number I'm on, but going on, take advantage when instructors are willing to Camtasia their lectures. What does this mean, you ask? Imagine 4.5 hours, yes, believe me, 82:45 is that long. So imagine 4.5 hours of your instructor's soothing voice, repeating the same lecture that you just sat through. Yes, nursing student rookies, this is for real. Downloading your lectures to iPod or MP3 players for the simple pleasure of listening to lecture all over again. Fool your family and friends by making them really think you're listening to Flashdance when really your ears are hearing the unique sounds of a patient in respiratory distress. And on the topic of timeliness, start times are for real in nursing school. Don't be fooled into thinking that this pertains only to clinical and not lecture either. The only difference here is that if you are late to clinical, the hospital unit you're assigned to doesn't exactly lock down and leave you peering through the window at your classmates. Where lecture, well, I'll leave that to Professor Myers when you get to that class. All right, one last one, and a personal favorite, and I'm based on experience. Definitely call your professors out on any of her mistyped words. Because, inadvertently using a T, for example, instead of a P, can ultimately make a huge difference in what the word means. And in nursing school, this simple error could lead to an entirely different symptom. So I'm hoping that as graduates, you'll all agree that this is some pretty sound advice to give to my new orientees next week. Aside from all that, though, I do want to say that this has been an amazing group of students. I've had a wonderful time teaching them, working with them. Some I've had early on and again later. They've all had to cross my path later on because I do teach one of the last classes, so that's been kind of fun. I've had a little bit of change in my own schedule recently, and this is one class that's been a study for me, so it's been an absolute joy and pleasure to get to be with this group and still teach. So I'm very honored that they asked me to speak here, and that's always a pleasure. So I just want to say congratulations, and let me know where you're working, so, no, just kidding.
Well, good evening, everybody. My name is Deanna Berger.
And I'm Holly Finkbiner.
And we would just like to take a moment to welcome you all and thank you for being here. And again, congratulate the graduates of 2011 ADN class. As we take some time tonight, we're going to hold off for just a minute, technical. My wonderful husband there running the technical stuff right there. Okay. Well, as we take time tonight to celebrate and look over our journey through nursing school, we look back and think of some of the wonderful lessons that have brought us to this point. We have all learned from one another, reviewing for exams and sitting in study groups. And we've learned from our families. Many of you are probably graced with the privilege of being our first head-to-toe assessment. I know my husband was. And lots of pep talks, lots of reviewing note cards sitting in coffee shops. And of course, we've learned many valuable lessons from our faculty as well, each of which has helped to create the wonderful, awesome new nurses you see in front of you today. Starting way back at the beginning, many of us got to know Kay Raymer. From Kay, we learned that nurses are detectives in disguise. Each situation must be looked at, listened to, and studied, so that we can know exactly where to begin. And then later in the program, in OB nursing, Kay taught us about the joy of bringing new life into the world and helped us to appreciate the special role that nurses play even from the first breath. In our psychosocial nursing class, many of us got to know Lori Arnswald, who taught us valuable lessons about taking time to actually sit down and stop and listen to your patients, knowing that compassion and caring must be the basis of even the most technical nursing. We learned how to motivate our patients, and in the process got to know each other very, very well, forming friendships that would last throughout the program.
In Med-Surg, most of us met Donna Adams. Donna taught us how strong laughter really can be. She made us realize that every unit, even the most experienced, the nurses, the day isn't just a cakewalk. Marie Burns started out with us and some of us in 101. Then she showed us that there's an end to this crazy journey. With perseverance and dedication, you can and will succeed. And here we are today to stand before you to show you that we can and did succeed. She showed us how important it is to be up to date with what's going on in the nursing world. Laura Moody showed us the ins and outs of the funeral home, just as we all wanted to know about. One thing that Laura's class was some days we got fed really well. I think I gained 10 pounds and got a case of hypertension in that class.
And in our older adult nursing class, we met Linda Burden and Bobby Dean and developed a true appreciation for the wisdom of our aging patients. As we developed gray hair and some wrinkles from all the long hours of studying, we were able to truly empathize with the aging process. And then we met Ellen Stewart for mental health nursing. From Ellen, we learned the importance of the mind-body connection and that nurses have a powerful role in mental health care. Ellen helped us to see the inherent worth of each patient, and in the process, taught us how to truly care for others, including ourselves. And she helped us to hone our acting skills. I will never forget Lindsay and Gladys stumbling across the classroom as they role-played withdrawal symptoms of common street drugs, which was fun. And then we learned many important things from Vicki Myers and Shelley Richter in our critical care course. We learned that nursing can be intense, fast-paced, and exhilarating, and really got to see how everything comes together when you deal with a critical situation. We also learned some very strange things about one another through our Facebook study group. And as Shelley referred to earlier, we learned some important guidelines about charting our I's and O's.
Shared Knoppers taught us the importance of not only taking care of the child, but taking care of the family as a whole. Don't forget what that nail in the foot looks like. I think we'll all be watching where we walk for a while. And to all the faculty who has had a hand in our growth as nurses, Cora,
Glennie,
Margaret,
Carolyn,
Jeanette,
Kathy,
Michelle,
Deb,
Dawn,
Sammy,
Amy,
Deb,
John,
Sherry,
Nancy,
Elizabeth,
Janine,
Sandra,
and Patricia, and to the rest of the staff, thank you for the hand you've had in molding us as nurses. May each and one of us be as caring and compassionate as you have been to us. To our families who have put up with us during those long nights of studying, the mood swings from the stress, and the family moments we had to miss. You watched the tears flow as we felt to frustration from home and school. You practiced with us as we were learning new skills. Taught us tonight is not only for us, but it's also for you to celebrate. We've all made it through this. It's a team effort. And last, to the class of 2011, we did it. Thanks for all your words of encouragement to each other and strength to be here with each other each step of the way. We've learned new things about each other, and no matter what happens, weddings to come up, babies to be born, jobs to be had, we will always have this together. I'd like to leave you with this. I wish that I could know the places I have yet to go, the ways I'll change, the things I'll do, the special dreams I'll help come true. I wish that I could see the life that lies ahead of me.
Congratulations.
It is really true. They hone their acting skills in psychiatric nursing. And I've enjoyed having each and every one of them. And I really enjoy looking out upon them tonight and remembering something special about each and every one of them. This is kind of a special night for me, too. You are continuing on in your career, and I'm, as always, in the checkout lane, but I'm real close now, okay? I've been saying that for a long time, but I'm really there in the express lane, okay? So now this is the technical part of the celebration tonight. This is where they get the pin. Now the pin. I'm not even going to go into it. Let me just say Murphy's Law was really active in this pinning process. So when I call your graduate's name, and you are the pinner, you will stand up, and your graduate will stand up, and you will both walk toward the stage. And then come on up here, and you will find a pin, and your grad knows which pin would be theirs, and you will, let me demonstrate. You don't have to play around with the pin itself. All you have to do, hopefully you can hear me, is to take the ribbon, and there's a straight pin, and just pin that onto them, not into their skin, hopefully, okay? That's all there is to it. And then you will go back to your seats. Okay, now I think after all the complicated procedures that they have learned, this will be a piece of cake, right? Okay, but before we actually start to do it, I just want you to think back, and this is for you folks. Technology is great, and I've noticed a lot of you during lectures, when I talk about something really sad, you have your laptops open, and you're smiling and laughing, and I can't help but think that maybe you might not be attending to the lecture. That's okay? That's okay, I understand. But technology hasn't gone far enough. We need a time machine. We definitely need a time machine, and I wonder if we had such a thing, and you were to climb in it tonight and go back to when this trip started. Now, I don't know what year that was. Would any of you care to say what year you started? 2005? Anybody earlier than that? 04? 03? Okay, 1955. So suppose you went back to Nursing 100, and I taught some of you in Nursing 100. That's the first class that they have the nursing letters before it, okay? And they learn all the basics about the Florence Nightingale story and pharmacology and some of their beginning math skills, okay? So if you were to go back in the time machine to that class, would you still do it? Would you still go on? I have a few, I'm not sure about that, but you did it. You did it. You traveled that time machine, and you are here tonight, and I am so glad for all of you. You are about to embark on the most exciting profession that there is. There is none other better than nursing. I'm firmly convinced of that. Okay? Yes. And after one more pesky test, it's annoying, but you do have to take one more test, okay? Then you'll be able to put RN after your name. And how many of you have been doodling that to see how it looks? Admit it, okay. I was a nursing student once upon a time, and we all did it, you know. Sounds pretty good. So it will be very soon that you'll be a registered nurse. And this program that you have completed is the hardest. Everything from this point on, if you get a bachelor's in nursing, a master's in nursing, it's a cakewalk compared to what you have just done. I'm really very sure of that, okay? It's just a matter of just keeping going and looking over your statements. It sounds like the majority of you are. You are going ahead and getting that bachelor's degree. Those of you who aren't, you'll probably change your mind at some point and continue your education, which would be wonderful. So it is time to be starting our pinning ceremony. And the first graduate, and I would like Lou Batma to stand. He is being pinned tonight by his daughter, Jessica. He gets a regular pin. He would like to thank everyone for their support, family, friends, and staff. He plans to work for the Veterans Administration and continuing with his education through Ferris University. Lou. Hey, Lou. Oh, see? He's gotten away without a hug. Thanks a lot, Lou. Okay. He's going to be working for the Veterans Administration. And if there are any veterans in the audience right now, I would like you to stand, and I would like you to be honored. We don't do that enough, do we? Okay. The next graduate is Melissa Brownell. She is being pinned by her father, David. She would like to give special thanks to her family for their continuous support and encouragement. Melissa plans to continue working at Heritage Nursing and Rehab while looking for a job in the hospital on a med-surg unit. She plans on resuming her education to obtain her bachelor's degree. Okay, and someone who was on the stage and who I have to say has been instrumental. We've been emailing each other left and right. Deanna Berger. She is being pinned by her mom, Linda, who inspired her to enter nursing. Deanna would like to say a special thank you to God and to her supportive family, her husband, Jeff, and two children, Abigail and Adam. She plans to practice cardiac nursing at Spectrum Meyer Heart Center. Our next graduate is Megan Davis. Megan is another graduate who has really put a lot of effort into this evening. She's being pinned by her daughter, Gabriella, who has to be one of the most darling children I've ever met in my life. She was on one of our walks, our famous walks we do in our program, and she was just incredible. Yeah. I went off script there for a moment, I'm sorry. She wants to also thank her mother for her support. Without them, this wouldn't have been possible. She will continue to work at St. Mary's, but will move into a management position. She will be continuing her education at Ferris State this fall to obtain a bachelor's degree in nursing. Then she will go on for a master's degree and hopes to eventually be a nursing professor. The next graduate is Tracy Davis. Tracy is being pinned by her sister, Wendy Smith, a registered nurse. Tracy is the fourth in the family to become a nurse. So she's following in Wendy's footsteps, and she would like to thank her husband, Mark, children Aaron and Andrew, Father Roy G., and the rest of her family for all the love and support throughout her long journey. She would also like to thank all of her study buddies, I'm not sure who you are, but thank you, who helped her along the way. She couldn't have done it without them. Tracy, now that you've finished nursing school, what are you going to do next? Yes, Roy G., she is going to Disney World. Chris Duckowitz is being pinned by his children, Jaden and Gage. He hopes to find a position at Metro. He would like to thank his family, friends, and fellow classmates for all of their support. Chris plans to obtain his bachelor's degree in the future. Oh, we have the most wonderful children, just great. Alrighty, and the next person, and you know, Emily Elms, where are you? Yeah, there you are, Emily. She's being pinned today by her husband, Jay. He has been her source of strength and perseverance throughout the program. She would like to thank Jay for all of that he sacrificed for the last 2 years. She could not have come this far without him by her side. Emily is a mother to 2 sweet little boys, Jack and Charlie. Are they here? Oh. She feels blessed to be able to provide a positive future for them. Her goals are to become the best nurse she can be. Her passion is in community health. She believes it is her duty and privilege to serve families in the community. She looks forward to the many amazing opportunities that becoming an RN will bring. Emily is a veteran. She served 8 years in the U.S. Army as a combat medic and LPN. Okay. Autumn Fernandez. She is being pinned by her daughter, Brianna Fernandez. She wants to give a very special thanks to her family for all their love and support throughout the journey. Have you put your name on the waiting list yet? You might want to consider that. I don't think so. I put an extra one. But okay, Holly Finkbiner. Tonight, Holly is being pinned by her mother, Robin Finkbiner, who graduated from this program. Oh my gosh! Oh, she did.
10 years ago.
Oh my gosh. Isn't it amazing we haven't aged a year? She would like to thank all her friends and family who supported her through the program. She plans to work at the Progressive Care Unit at Blodgett. Andrea Goodwin. Andrea is being pinned by her husband, Ryan, who has constantly encouraged her and never let her give up. She would like to thank her family, husband, and Lindsay for all of their support and pep talks. She plans on starting her BSN in the fall. I did meet Andrea in Nursing 100, and I want to thank her publicly for being such a person who really contributed to the suicide prevention walks that we were engaged in. Thank you. Okay, Angela Helder. Angela is being pinned tonight by her husband, Dave, and two daughters, Anna and Lydia, who are thrilled to be here tonight. Not only has Dave helped with the cleaning, are you listening, Dave? The dishes, oh, yeah. Grocery shopping, meals, laundry. Oh, yeah. She's sensitive, yeah. The list goes on and on. He has been her consistent study partner as well. You have really gone above and beyond here. She's grateful for having a loving and supportive family. A special thanks goes out to her mother and father-in-law for all of the times they came to watch the girls, so that Dave and Angela could go out and study together. Romantic. And to her mother and father for continuing guidance and strength. And last but not least, for the help of all her prayer warriors, Angela hopes to have a relaxing and enjoyable summer with her family. She will be studying for the NCLEX, that pesky, annoying test, and beginning the RN to BSN program at Ferris State University in the fall. Okay, now Justin Couple. She has asked her husband, Eric, to pin her. Justin would like to say thank you to her husband and parents for all their support. Justin has a 2-year-old son. She will be continuing her education at Ferris State University. Our next graduate tonight is Lindsay Mastrom. Okay, Lindsay is being pinned by her 6-year-old son, Jacob, and her husband, Mike. She would first thank God for all her answered prayers and to her family, friends, and fellow students for their continued support through this journey. She is planning on attending, guess what university? Ferris State, to complete her bachelor's degree starting this fall. Some of you are going to be in class together again. She will be looking for employment after the arrival of her second son, Jordan. Okay, now wait a minute. I'm returning these. These are...
You didn't use them.
No, but you give them to the graduates.
Okay.
Okay, or the kids. The kids need them more. Those are ice cream coupons. All righty. Christy Need is being pinned by her husband, Scott. And their daughters, Claire and Landry. She plans to look for work in the Grand Rapids area. Her interest is in labor and delivery. It seems like you could be in business right here with your class. Something in the water, I believe. Christy wants to thank her husband, Scott, for all of his love and support throughout the journey. Without him, this would not have been possible. She also thanks her mother and father-in-law, Nancy and Dennis, and her mom, Debbie, for all of their help watching the girls. Her sister, Alicia, for just being a phone call away whenever needed, and for all of the encouragement she had. Her sister-in-law, Shelley, also took the girls to allow study time. Christy feels blessed to have such a supportive family. Okay, Stephanie Petter. Stephanie is being pinned by her dad, Greg, because he insisted she follow her dreams. She is married to Derek and expecting their first child in September. She plans on working on her bachelor's in nursing and hopes to get a position in Kalamazoo, as she will be moving near there. She wants to be especially thankful for her family for being so encouraging. Angela Russo. She is being pinned by her fiancé tonight and marrying him on Saturday. She would like to thank her family for their love and support while attending the nursing program and planning a wedding. Angela has accepted a job at Spectrum Butterworth as an OB nurse. Okay, Lindsay Schneider. Lindsay is being pinned by her husband, Brett, who she'd especially like to thank for his patience, support, and continued encouragement throughout her education. She also thanks her family and Andrea for all their love and support through the stressful times. Lindsay plans to continue her education in the fall and has accepted an RN position at the Spectrum Emergency Room. And I would like to thank Lindsay's mom. She did an incredible job with decorations and flowers, and I would like you to give her a round of applause too. Lori Smith. Lori is being pinned by her husband, Dennis. She would like to thank family for their support and encouragement. She is continuing her nursing education at Ferris State University and plans to work at Helen DeVos Children's Hospital. Okay, Mr. Jeffrey R. Smith. Jeffrey Smith is being pinned by a good friend, fellow student, and study partner, Megan Smith. Jeffrey would like to thank his mother, Kathy Smith, and immediate family that supported him through his journey of becoming a nurse. He will be working for DaVita as a dialysis nurse. Stay where you are. And Megan Smith is being pinned by Jeffrey Smith, fellow classmate, study partner, and friend. Megan would like to thank her family, especially her parents, Craig and Cynthia, for showing unconditional love, support, and encouragement during difficult and emotional times, and most important, for never letting her give up her dream. Megan plans to move to San Diego, California, where she plans to pursue traveling nursing for a few years. Her interests lie in women's health, as well as maternal, newborn, and labor and delivery. However, she is willing to take on any adventure that is handed her way. Megan also plans in the next few years to accomplish and complete her bachelor's in nursing.
At Michigan State University.
All right.
I'm along.
Oh, okay, that's right, you are. I just want to say that these two were frequently late for class. Just slightly, though, just by like a minute or two. Okay. And next, I won't tell any more secrets. Kelsey Toadbush. Kelsey is being pinned by her mother, Lori. She wants to thank her parents and family. Her plan is to continue her education for a BSN and has a long-term goal of achieving a master's. She plans to work on a medical surgical unit. Oh, we're almost done. Okay, Gladys, you made it. Okay, Gladys, Velma, come on up. She is being pinned by her husband, Lenny. She would like to thank him for not letting her give up when it would have been easy to do so. She also would like to thank her babies, Vinny and Victor, for being patient when mom didn't have any time to play, and her mom who came and talked to one of our classes. Thank you, Mom. Sister and best friend who kept her focused and taught her not to worry, but to hope. She hopes to be able to work in a clinic setting and looks forward to using her new skills to do some missionary work. Okay, Jody Wells. Her husband, Doug, is pinning Jody. She sends special thanks to her family, who've been a tremendous source of support. Also, she would like to thank her mother-in-law, Kay, and her grandmother, who also were great sources of help, but unfortunately passed away before seeing her complete this journey. Jody is attending Ferris State in the fall to work toward a BSN and would love to work in a critical care setting locally. Okay, Angela Wheeler. Angela is being pinned. She would like to thank God for helping her through this journey. She would like to thank her husband, Ethan, and all of her family and friends for their love and support. Additional thanks to GRCC nursing faculty and her fellow classmates for their support and encouragement. And that, my friends, is the conclusion of the pinning ceremony. And I believe next on the agenda is a show, a slideshow. Oh.
That's the first time I ever had to move the microphone up. That was so nice. Oh, okay. I just have a quick little speech, and normally I don't like to write them. I like to do them impromptu, but I did actually take time today, so I even had my husband spell check it, so it doesn't matter, but okay. In our world today, we can be easily caught up in our fast-paced society. There are very few people that you come across that take time for others. Tonight, I'm honored to speak to all of you about someone who is constantly taking time for others and has made an impact on not only myself, but all of my fellow classmates. This instructor has touched more lives than could ever be counted. She has taught many that it is okay to show how we truly feel. She has brought meaning back in many young men and women's lives, teaching since 1982, being a huge part of GRCC nursing program since 1990, teaching psychiatric mental health nursing. She is involved and heads many organizations, and I'm only named a few because I would have had to keep going, so here's about 7. Salvation Army Senior Program, Perinatal Mood Disorder Coalition, Healthy Kent Suicide Prevention Coalition, Planning Committee for the Out of the Darkness Walk, Professional Development, Associate's Degree, Nursing Club Advisor, Rewards and Recognition Committee, Co-Curricular Infusion Committee, and Academic Service Learning Advisory Board, and many more. So this instructor is humbled, loving, caring, has shared laughter, tears, and many more with each of one of her students. But there comes a day when we will have to say goodbye to such an amazing instructor. So I am saddened to say that this year she will be retiring, but we have all been so very blessed and to have learned so much from her. So it is my great honor to present on behalf of all of our classmates of the 2011 ADN nursing class, recognition to our very own Ellen Stewart.
That was totally unexpected and so grateful for you saying all those really nice things about me. Thank you. I will miss all of you. That was a stunning slideshow. Thank you so much. That was just really well done. And thank you for your kind words again. Very unexpected and very grateful for them. So here you are. And all of the work that you've done, it is worthwhile. It is wonderful work, and not just in the nursing program, but raising these children, honoring your parents. This is a good day. And this is one of those peak moments in your life. You know, Maslow talks about the basic needs. You know, well, you're right at the top right now. And I hope you stay there for at least 24 hours, okay? Don't worry about those dust bunnies under the bed. They're the size of a small mammal. You know, just forget about them and enjoy yourself, okay? All weekend. Just party. Okay. I wasn't going to tell this story, but, you know, I understand that some of my stories have been humorous to you over the, and I don't think this one is too humorous, actually, but I thought it was very poignant. I was at the senior center at the Salvation Army, and there was a woman there who graduated from nursing school, Mercy Central, nursing school in 1947. And I told her that we were going to have a pinning ceremony, and she got very misty, and she said, "Will they wear the cap and the cape?" And I said, I don't think so. I really don't think so. And she'd love all of you, but she would be rather appalled that you are not in the white uniform of a nurse. But she said, "I want you to tell them something." And she sang this, okay? How many of you remember the song, "This Little Light of Mine"? Okay. Well, she started singing that. You tell them to let their light shine, And so I'm not going to say her name because I don't have permission to do so, but from a very wonderful nurse from 1947, let your light shine. And if you would stand and face the audience and let them give you a big round of applause. There are faculty standing, and I would like you to continue standing for a moment. And the faculty that have come here tonight deserve your applause also. So with that, the ceremony's over, and there are wonderful goodies outside here. Some of you can get a parking token. Please show your programs so that you can get a reduced rate in the parking lot if you have parked there. And celebrate, enjoy each other. Good night.